podcast, so kind of keep an eye on him up there in the corner. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, they're graduates now. I can say whatever I want to say.
That's true. Airing of the grievances. I got a problem with you people.
I mean, I call you a word every day. They just haven't heard me call it.
I know it. Well, I'd like to keep that a secret if you don't mind.
All right. Yeah, but I mean, true. All right.
So what Chaim doesn't realize is that segue is a part of the opening of the Principal's podcast. So we are recording this live now we have some graduates, and we have Mr. Snyder, who is always a staple on this, and Mr. Chaim. Mr. Bandera can't make it today. You can't see with the current lighting, but Mr. Chaim's shirt matches his forehead. He is very much rose-colored. I think Mr. Snyder got a little burned. Being that I'm Italian, it's starting to fade in. But today we want to talk about you. We spent weeks in meetings with many of you talking about the plan, and phase 1 of the plan was executed, and we were all stationed at various parts. Today we have Claire, we have Halle, and Keaton, who are officially retired from having to walk the halls. They are alumni of Chardon High School. So we wanted to welcome our new alum and talk about the caravan experience that led them to the Alcan, to probably the nicest thing we have on campus that I believe is probably being torn down today, and talk about your commencement tour. So welcome, graduates. Let's start with Claire. Claire, how does it feel to be a grad?
Feels great. Feels right. Me and Halle were talking about it because we went back to the student parking lot yesterday, and the Welcome Chardon alumni sign was still up. And she was like, "Oh, I don't like that." I was like, "Oh, I kind of like that."
Nice. And for those of you who weren't there live, I was only there to read the first 20 students, and I had the opportunity to read Claire's name. And we have Floyd in the picture today. And Dana was popping through that sunroof and hooting and hollering your name. You had your parents there, grandma was there. It was an awesome thing. I personally had the opportunity to talk with Halle, which was awesome. Because then I moved to the station I was set at all day, which was talking to the grads and handing them their diploma. Halle, how was that experience for you?
I mean, it was a great experience. This was a great alternative. I mean, in these circumstances, I think that you guys did an amazing job. And when I got to talk to you, obviously some tears were shed. My mom started crying. Yeah. Which made me start crying. But I mean, all around, Saturday went perfect. And just really grateful to have great principals and teachers to help set that up, because that was really great. And we're all super thankful.
Yes, it was a village that put that baby together. Mm-hmm. One of the highlights of the day, one was Felger and their enormous caboose, and then at the tail end, right when Chaim was literally rosy red, there was this 15 passenger van that came down the way. I think there were 30 Ziegenfuss in there, if you use that in plural. I think Snyder wanted to put on
a couple stowaways too, without a doubt. I was looking for non-family members to eject so I could jump in there. I think there were a couple stowaways.
And you, Keaton, you're the third. Are you the third graduate now?
Third, yeah.
The third graduate. How did it feel to graduate there at Chardon Memorial Field, on the outskirts?
Yeah, on the drive down, my dad was just talking about all the memories me and my brothers had down there. So I mean, it was I don't know, it was crazy. Even before I even got my diploma, just driving down there and looking at the field, knowing I won't be back there. I texted Landies before I texted Halle. I said, "Hey, if I don't go grab my diploma today, do I have another year of eligibility?" And he goes, "Man, I wish."
So, you know what answer you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Snyder, you were in Station 3 all day. You had a pile of things to hand out. What were some of your memories, especially with these three?
Well, it was, first of all, it was great seeing everybody. About the only kids I've seen in the last 2 months have been in these little frames right here. So it was actually good to see smiling faces, and it seemed like everybody was happy and having a good time. Now that you guys are seasoned veterans and grads of Chardon High School, like my question today is, all three of you have had all kinds of athletic success and also have done a great job in the classroom epitomizing student athlete. But sometimes what people don't realize is, and as we get older, we start to realize these are the most important things. Some of the hardships and adversity that you all three faced, and I know that applies to each of you, will probably be some of the lifetime lessons that you take on to the next chapter of your life and throughout the rest of your lives. If you don't mind, maybe just share some lessons that you've learned through overcoming adversity in the athletic field that you're going to take with you. Anybody can start.
I know for me, my lesson was a little bit different than theirs because mine was all about time management. Because I had so many things I wanted to do with sports and with music and with school. So I didn't know how to fit all of that into the hours in a day. So just maximizing any time I had, cutting out time on my phone, things like that really helped me out. And I realized if I wanted to do something, I really, really could make time for it.
That's a life lesson right there.
Yeah. And if I felt like I didn't have time for something, it was because I didn't really want to be there. So that is definitely something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life.
That'll serve you well. Halle, let's go to you next. I know you've had some serious adversity over the last 2 years, and you're probably still learning some of those lessons. But like, what can you say that you've already learned from those experiences?
Well, I've definitely learned that I'm way stronger than I think I am because, I mean, after having multiple surgeries in a year, I mean, you don't think that you can get through it. And like when I say it out loud, it's like, did I actually go through that? But then like thinking back, it's like I had so many people to like support me and just be there for me, which is a huge thing. I think that's definitely one of my lessons is that like surround yourself with people who will always support you, because I could not made it through like all of these surgeries without obviously like my mom and my dad and my family and like the rest of my friends and like you guys and definitely my teachers too. So just surrounding myself with great people and then just always having the mindset that I'm going to get through it. Like, I mean, it's a roadblock right now, but next year I'm going to get back in the swing of things and be playing at Ashland. So that's what's in my mind. That's kind of what just I focus on. So.
Well said. Keaton, you guys see your hat? I got repping the Kent here. From one golden flash to another. What can you share with some of the younger Hilltoppers?
Mine's more injury like correlated too. So the day before we played Brush, I went up for a ball with a younger teammate, and they're not supposed to go up for it at all the day before a game. And I came down on my ankle, and I ended up like tearing 2 ligaments in it. And I actually didn't think I was going to be able to play. But then like Coach Hewitt and everyone kept preaching to me that I don't have time to feel bad for myself. And it kind of taught me to put other people's feelings before mine and not be a very selfish person. So I went on and I played probably 10 more weeks with a messed up ankle with a big ankle brace. I think at Streetsboro, the coach asked me if I was on house arrest. And I said, no, my ankle was just a little messed up. And just battling through that adversity, I feel like made me play way harder. It made me want it more. It made me have to train way harder to get back to where I was. So that's something I'll probably carry on, is just putting other people's feelings before mine.
During that, the couple of days between the injury and the Brush game, did anyone remind you that no one cares?
Every single day, Coach Hewitt, Coach Landies, Borowski.
I can hear it. Ziggy, nobody cares. Nobody cares, Ziggy.
I'm getting x-rays. I'm getting ultrasounds on my ankle. I can barely walk. And Coach Laney just keeps saying, "Well, nobody cares. You're still
Nobody cares.
nobody cares." And I'm
He
like,
says that to his kids too, man.
"Yeah,
Keaton, I got the same thing.
Thanks for sharing that. Those are, we're having a little fun, but those are all great lessons that the younger Hilltoppers can learn, and that'll all serve you guys well in the next stage of your life. So thanks for everything that you guys have done.
for sure."
Mr. Hyam, what do you got?
You know, guys, there were a lot of surprises, I'm sure, for you guys on Saturday. But was there a surprise during that whole process that kind of caught you, kind of brought everything back, so you kind of got the sense of what the day was about? Was there any surprise that just kind of sparked some memories for you?
I was really surprised how well decorated everything was. I mean, it literally poured all day Friday. Like, how you guys set that up is beyond me. And that's the first thing I noticed. Even when we pulled into the student parking lot, one of the first things I noticed was that the orange barrels are wrapped in are wrapped in the red and the black and the white streamers. And I was like, it's just the little things, all that stuff. It's a lot of time and energy. And I mean, just all of that was super. I was just super surprised how well everything looked, but it was awesome.
My family kept saying the same thing. We were all of the decorations were so cute, and the little graduation hats that were on all the posts. And I don't know, I knew so much effort went into planning it, and I guess the actual day I didn't think that much about. So when I pulled in, I was like, wow, this feels like it's actually something important. And the stage looked incredible. And it was really, really nice.
Yeah, I think you guys started at 7 a.m. and I'm last of the alphabet. So obviously I went at 5 p.m. So by the time I got there, everyone's sunburnt. And Mr. Murray had sweat dropping from his head. But the first thing that comes to mind about memories and stuff like that wasn't even the decorations, I'd say, is as I'm looking at the field and Mr. Murray's giving me my last hype up speech as a Hilltopper. So it wasn't even Hewitt, wasn't anyone else. Murray was giving me my last hype up speech before I went and got my picture taken and actually graduated to become an alumni. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is the best part of commencement that has never happened in 147 years, is that the one-on-one that you had with so many people that led to your commencement. That doesn't happen at commencement. We kind of direct the crowd. The choir sings to the crowd. Your class officers give a speech to the crowd because you're behind them. And the one thing that I wish that, obviously there's nothing better than doing it and having a commencement where your classmates are there. You can celebrate, they can see it. If there was a way that we could do what we did, but also do it in the presence of others, where you're a spotlight feature, but there's a crowd that can see it. I think that we have to think commencements differently. I love the tradition, and I'm not saying that we should do drive-throughs, but I'm thinking that we need to bring it back home, because there's nothing better than a Chardon party. And
that drive-in is going to be off the charts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, it is. And there's some of the things, and Mr. Hyam knows this best, is that 3 days prior, we were recording everything. So Mrs. Horvath is recording her, confirmation of the diplomas. The color guard is recording the national anthem kind of march. There's a lot of scenes that are pre-recorded ahead of time with the choir, and we are pulling band clips. Then my part, I'm reading segments that I don't even know took place yet. And so just to visualize how it all works, that I don't even know how it's going to work. What I say, I know will match a lot of the things that took place because I was guessing. But it's going to be an absolute amazing film, because it's not like you graduated and then we recorded, and then you graduated. Dr. Hanlon, you wait till you see his commencement speech, because part of it is you'll see the change of weather. You're going to see the color guard and beautiful blue skies. And you see Hanlon outside for a moment in the pouring down rain, which is kind of shows you kind of the story of what took place that whole time. The video will be ready on Saturday, 1 p.m. on YouTube, the YouTube channel that this is playing on, along with GTV. The day before is Baccalaureate, which some of you are actually in it, whether it is a pre-recording of other videos that were already made. So that's happening. And then the drive-in movie theater will be super cool, ending the night with fireworks. And I told Dana, I told the Ziegenfuss brothers and Mr. Landies, Mrs. Landies, I'm like, and I told your sisters, no one else is ever going to experience something like this, because those that have come before us and those will come after us, no one is going to have a story like this. So, Mr. Snyder, I wanted to give some comedy relief in there. Any final thoughts? Why don't you give them sage wisdom?
Oh, God.
I'm not sure I have any. Put me on the spot here.
Well, it's usually a good, humorous, witty
Halle,
thought.
is your mom crying in the background?
No, my dad just walked in here. I don't think he knows what's going on.
Well, why don't you bring him on?
Oh boy. Okay. Come on.
Dude.
There he is.
Hey, Coach Landies. Welcome to the Principals Podcast. How was Saturday for you as a parent?
Well, you got me, Doug. When you got to the side of that van there, I didn't think I was going to be as emotional, but that was tough.
I love the personal touch. The fact that you and I graduated from Chardon, no one talked to us. We kind of just walked the stage, but that part of
Because
commencement,
they were amazed you both made it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what Mr. Brown said to him
Stunned
too.
silence. These two guys made it. Come on.
yeah, we weren't in your sweat hog class, but it was that personal touch that we have to continue moving forward. Somehow creating that personal touch in every commencement moving forward is what we have to make sure happens. And I would love to continue to at least bring it back home each year, because our after prom moms can't beat them.
They killed it.
They killed it. They really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had multiple people tell me or ask me, why would you ever go back to Menor after being through that? I mean, obviously the rain and the weather and everything that went into it, that's why. But, I mean, that was so memorable and so special for these kids is incredible. My mom and dad got in their truck and just drove down through there just for the sake of driving through there because they wanted to see it.
Yeah, and they did it the most perfect time, because it was right at a break, and they drove through, and we all could talk with them, and they could just drive right through. And I was just hoping that your dad would walk the stage, because that whole thing was streamed live.
Yeah.
So we were just telling them it's going to be interesting to see what the actual movie looks like, because we pre-recorded a lot of the commencement stuff the days before, not knowing. We knew what it would look like, but some of the things we say, we hope emulate what was experienced. But we'll find out this Saturday.
Well, you and your whole team deserve a lot of credit. You guys did great. Thank you for making it so special for them.
Thanks for joining us on our podcast.
Yes.
You guys take care. Looking forward to softball season.
Yeah, that's right. So you had time to think there, Mr. Snyder. You usually have some sort of great statement, witty thought, or a game changer kind of last moment thought that these kids need to hear.
I don't know. I'm at a loss today, so I'm going to pass it over to Chaim for a second. See if I can come up with something last minute.
Hey,
maybe Chaim can put the puzzle together for us.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. There's one person I want to thank, and I know we all would agree with this, but Jen Sprinzel was just absolutely amazing. The things that she did that no one knows behind the scenes that allowed everyone else to look good and for things not to fall apart, because without her, things would fall apart. So
she was a glue.
Unbelievable work that Jen did behind the scenes for us. So thanks, Jen.
Somebody else that falls in that is Mr. Jevnikar and GTV. They're going to, the magic of GTV will put that movie together that you guys will see this weekend. And as you guys get older and go on to your college and join the quote unquote real world, you're going to have those DVDs to look back on from your high school careers, and it'll mean more to you as you get older, but it's a pretty cool thing. So it was kind of fitting that GTV was there on Saturday also, because where isn't GTV when it comes to something good going on in Charlotte?
Yeah. So graduates, it's a great feeling. The next time we see you, I hope you join the senior motorcade. That should be a good experience. I believe that Saturday is supposed to be beautiful again.
Yeah,
It is.
So let's enjoy that. We'll watch commencement for the first time together, and then June 4th we'll have a party at the drive-in movie theater. Because
I'm bringing a sombrero for Chaim on Saturday, so he doesn't get his head burned again. Not everybody can pull off the sombrero look, but I know Chaim can.
Well, that's it for our podcast today, and we usually end with any shout outs. So is there anyone missing that you'd like to shout out that you didn't shout out before?
I mean, I know for me, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys and the class officers for such an incredible day. And it went so above all of my expectations. And I'm so thankful that we had just that.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, Saturday was about as special as it could get, and we are so thankful for all of the work that you guys put in and just, making the rest of our senior year memorable for us.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to clear that. I don't have any other choice, but you guys did great with what we had and what we could do, and I thought it was very efficient. Like, I was surprised. I thought it might just fall apart, but it went really smooth. And Mr. Murray said he had time to even get breaks. So I know what you're wearing was a little heavy. Probably lost a few pounds that day, but I mean, it was great. It was a great day, and it was a lot quicker than I like. I sat through my brother's, and I just dozed off on my phone the whole time. And so for them to just get in a 15-passenger van, and
you didn't even have time to take a head count in that van.
That's what I'm saying. So it was 15 minutes and we were done. We just drove straight back home, and then we had some people over. So, I mean, it was a great day. So all the shout outs go to people who put it on. It was great.
And I know some people that are going to Wake Forest next year. I was talking to them, and they just got all of their graduation and everything canceled. And their high schools weren't even making an effort to do anything. They were like, we'll just do a virtual thing. And I sent them your PDF. So you might end up getting some credit from other states.
Yeah.
For what you did here.
Well, that's awesome. I know that there are a lot of schools around us that took our plan and kind of ran with it. And I know that we're not blessed with an auditorium that we can do things like that. But
we have a gymatorium though.
We do have a gymatorium.
Right.
And I believe you can actually cast your vote in there too. So it's a community place. Mayfield is doing several days worth starting today. And so it's going to be a whole week's worth. All these schools that are doing a week's worth. I have to give thanks to Dr. Hanlon and the board for allowing us to open the checkbook to rent that tent and take our money and put it back home. Obviously, there's so many community partners like Beans and Jersey Mike's and Manja that helped us throughout the day. All of our staff from K to 12 that came to support you guys. It was truly a village. And then clearly the after prom moms that were just amazing. But I think Mr. Chaim will probably want to close with a thanks to the people that were working late into the night.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you, our custodial staff, they did more than we could ever ask. At the last minute, they were asked to take the overnight shift, make sure everything was in place and stay together. And it was amazing. I'd also like to thank Walmart for donating more drinks and snacks than we know what to do with. So it was just unbelievable the amount of community support that came out for our seniors.
Yep, and that's why I preach our core values. You know, we joke about how many times I say it, but it literally you just saw it and you saw it in action. So we appreciate you. We appreciate your entire class, and some of your classmates that couldn't make it on Saturday. We still read their names, and they're going to be a part of the presentation. But we're going to actually hand them their diploma on Saturday at the motorcade, so we get another part 2 with that. So it'll be pretty cool. So hope to see you Saturday. I will send out all the links for all that stuff again. In the meantime, it's hard to believe that at this point, last year we would be done and kind of wrapping things up, but now we're like making sure grades 8 through 11 are getting their stuff done. So we're still working, but we will see you on Saturday. So have a great week. Celebrate being a graduate. Keaton, stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
No, your whole family is great, so we're not worried about that.
Yeah.
All right,
All
guys.
right.
Thanks for joining us today.
Peace.
Thank you so much.
See you
Thank
guys.
you for having us.
See ya.